my God.
There we are. We good now.
We were thinking we were talking this whole time on YouTube and we were muted.
It's okay.
All right, all these technicalities will get better. Yep, so we were just talking to you guys on YouTube live and you couldn't hear us saying welcome to the Divine Connection Show. So, anyway, all is well. We'll breathe in, hold it, and exhale. All right. That's what we tend to do. We forget to breathe when things get a little tense. Although, I'm not really worried.
I'm not either. I'm okay.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So anyway, my day has been cool. It's been a little gloomy around here, raining and stuff like that. So we look right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been okay. How about you?
Oh, yeah, it's been all right. Just been reflecting, processing some things today, and just taking a step back and just looking, examining.
Oh, I hear that.
You can't hear?
I mean, you got really low.
Well, yeah, it's just reflection day today.
Yeah, as a friend observing, I feel like you've seen better days, but we have our days.
It doesn't matter. I mean, just you can't stay there. You just gotta get up and do something.
Keep moving forward.
It may seem hard to do, but it's just you got to. There ain't no way
around. I mean, you should. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people choose to
hard, yeah.
Stay where they are. No progression. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I wanted to first, it's been a while since I pulled out my herbal apothecary book, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on some other little things you may not know about, or just keep it holistic in your life instead of always running to getting over-the-counter drugs and things like that. That one thing messes with another thing. You got to get another drug to counteract this side effect and things like that. So also herbs are pretty cool. Like if you have a headache and you got something in your house that you can take that's food, why not just reach for that instead? So anyway, wanted to mention the benefits of fennel. And right here I have fennel seeds. Y'all see that? So you may see this in hold on this way, sausage and things like that, like Italian sausage. So basically I bought this a long time ago to kind of fake. I was making something and I wanted the meat to taste like Italian sausage.
So you're making like a plant-based?
Actually, no, but that's meat? A good idea.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to turn my ground turkey to taste like sausage. Italian sausage.
Okay.
It was something I was making. I needed a little
something
kick.
More leanier than the sausage.
No, it wasn't a replacement. I just wanted to try it because I know a girl that worked in culinaries, and she told me oh my gosh, I made some dish, and she was like, my meat tastes just like Italian sausage, and I use fennel.
Gotcha.
So yes, I'm sorry, I'll be distracted. 1 second, let me turn this off before it goes off.
Yeah, it might seem like that, but you gotta persevere. You gotta.
All right. So yeah, my bad. So,
the flannel seed.
Fennel. Yes.
Okay.
So fennel, it says the Greeks gave fennel to nursing mothers to increase their milk flow. So I didn't know. I had no idea. There's a lot of things women take to produce more milk for their newborns or just toddlers, whatever you choose to do, to increase their milk supply. And I didn't know fennel was one of them. So it says early physicians also considered fennel a remedy for poor eyesight, weight loss, hiccups, nausea, gout, and many other illnesses. I had no clue about gout. I know that I didn't know that it was good for gout. So that was new for me. And that's good because a lot of people suffer from gout. Older people, too much uric acid buildup. And all I know, the number one remedy for gout that I know that actually works for people is cherries, or just cherries, cherry juice, cherry concentrate, and cherries, just raw cherries. Because I had a relative, a loved one, very dear that used to suffer from gouty attacks. So to keep it down, to keep your levels, you should probably just when cherries are in season, just keep that in your rotation. And then if you can't, if you don't have them readily available, always keep cherry juice. Like they sell like that just black cherry, any kind of cherry, tart cherries, whatever you can get your hands on. And then like if you're having like a gout attack, like where your foot or hand or arm is swollen, then you could that's when you should take like a shot of the concentrate. I know that's what worked for my loved one.
Yeah, I heard stories about it too, instances where it was like almost instant.
Yes, that concentrate.
Yeah.
So I mean, when people have gout issues, it's like very painful, so they want relief fast. So that cherry concentrate, it really helps. So it helps with gout and all of that, and I didn't know that. So, but yeah, it says fennel is a carminative, weak diuretic, a mild digestive stimulant. So I mean, it seems like all around good for you, like diuretic, a mild one, digestive stimulant. So it says herbalists often recommend fennel tea to soothe an upset stomach and dispel gas. So it helps with your GI issues and things like that. Didn't know that. So if you have gas, next time you have gas, think about steeping you some fennel seeds or fennel. Make you some fennel tea. Yes. So, I mean, this is what I have on hand. So I'm telling you, if I had issues, I don't have to go out and buy it. I have this. So what I would do is take like a tablespoon or a teaspoon and boil some water, some filtered water or spring water or something, and steep that. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I would even roughly chop it open, like with a knife, roughly chop it and then pour the water over it. That's what I would do. And let it steep for like 10 minutes. So it aids digestion, especially of fat.
Oh.
I know, okay. Right? So in Europe, a popular children's carminative is still made with fennel, chamomile, caraway, coriander, and bitter angel peel. I mean, I'm sorry. It's made with fennel, chamomile, caraway, coriander, and bitter orange peel.
Angel peel.
I don't know. The angel's been communicating.
Yeah.
So, fennel is also a urinary tract tonic that lessens inflammation and helps eliminate kidney stones. I know a lot of people that suffer with kidney issues and kidney stones. So, once again, something good to know. Fennel tastes like a more bitter version of anise. So, that's that little, I don't have any, but that little herb or seed that looks like a flower. If you guys see it, you mostly may see it in like the international market but it looks like a star or a flower. It's like a bunch of little petals and it's brown. But anyway, it says that it's a bitter version of that. So you can use the fennel leaves in salads and as garnishes. You can eat tender stems as you would eat celery, and add seeds to desserts, breads, cakes, cookies, and beverages. Mince the bulbs of sweet fennel and eat raw or braised. Fennel complements fish, sausage, duck, barley, rice, cabbage, beets, pickles, potatoes, lentils, breads, and eggs. Added to butters, cheese spreads, and salad dressings. A fennel infusion acts as a skin cleanser and antiseptic. It reduces bruising when applied topically. So when you apply it to your skin, it can reduce it. The herb dyes wool shades of yellow and brown. So one of the precautions, though, fennel has a mild estrogenic property, so avoid it if you're pregnant. So very large amounts can overstimulate your nervous system. So yeah, I thought that was good to know. So yeah, I felt like
it was very informative. I like the part like there's for gout and then for digestive and gas, also digestive
fats. I'm like, it sounds like a natural fat burner to me.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I'm not an expert, so I don't know how much of it one would need, but
do some research, find it out.
And I'm sure, like, I have fennel seeds, so maybe they have powder, maybe they have tea, But I just wanted people to see it because people don't know what this is. Like when I was a child, I used to see these, as you're eating something, and it's something like you pick out. Okay. Like I don't know. That's me. So yeah, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was interesting for me.
Very interesting. But we played, I don't know if you guys heard, but we played Reverend Ike.
Yeah.
And it was the infamous Get Your Butt Out the Way. So your word has power, and we say this a lot, but it is so important. It's vital to every day. It's vital to being prosperous. It's vital for life. And you got to realize that your words are as God's words, the God inside of you. Even the word, how the Bible came into existence, and it's the word of God, but it was inspired by God through the Spirit and written in a book or scrolls. So then it became the word of God. But first it came from God, came from Spirit, and then it became the word of God, and it was on paper, on scroll. And just as God spoke, God, speak too. So your word is powerful. Through it, things exist. Through your word, creativity comes. So you got to be careful of what you say. These words that you say, you might take lightly. These sayings that you say, you don't understand how powerful words are and how quickly they can manifest. So
good and bad.
Good and bad. So just be very conscious of what you say. Be very conscious of your thoughts. Because just as God spoke the world into existence, you speak your world into existence. Mm-hmm. And so that's all I have to say about that. Just a little nugget. And it's continuously, it's like you can't get enough of working on yourself and your mind and what you say. It's just us as humans, you have to, as creators, you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
That's just a little something to think about.
Yeah. I did want to talk about something that I've talked, well, no, I don't think I've talked about it here. Um, just something, it's like a little discussion. And it's something that I saw today, but it's something that I think we don't talk about enough, especially in the melanated community. And that is rape culture. So I've heard this talked about just, I think, once, targeting a large audience. And it's been some years. So I just wanted to revisit only because there's a lot going on. And there's a lot that if we don't talk about it and bring more awareness, things don't change.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't realize what they're doing also, so they don't see the wrong in it. So let's do better with our children and the people we know and the people that we're around to do better with how we treat one another. So queens act like queens, kings act like kings, and treat each other as such, period. Okay? So that's the first thing. So what is rape culture? So I'm just going to read from the internet really quickly. And it says rape culture is an environment in which rape is prevalent and in which sexual violence against women is normalized and excused in the media and popular culture. Rape culture is perpetuated through the use of misogynistic language, the objectification of women's bodies, and the glamorization of sexual violence, thereby creating a society that disregards women's rights and safety. Rape culture affects every woman. The rape of one woman is a degradation, terror, and limitation to all women. Most women and girls limit their behavior because of the existence of rape. So, like, really, women that want to be themselves can't be themselves. Okay, we'll get into that more. Most women and girls live in fear of rape. Men in general do not. That's how rape functions as a powerful means by which the whole female population is held in a subordinate position to the whole male population, even though many men don't rape and many women are never victims of rape. This cycle of fear is a legacy of rape culture. Like, you know, we know that rape happens, so that's why we ought to be fearful. But, if it didn't, then we could live in harmony. Everyone could be themselves. But anyway, some examples of rape culture is blaming the victim. So saying she asked for it. Trivializing sexual assault, saying boys will be boys. Sexually explicit jokes, tolerance of sexual harassment, inflating false rape report statistics, publicly scrutinizing a victim's dress, mental state, motives, and history, defining manhood as dominant and sexually aggressive, defining womanhood as submissive and sexually passive, pressure on men to score. Let me hold this up so y'all can see my face. Pressure on women to not appear cold, assuming only promiscuous women get raped, assuming that men don't get raped or that only weak men get raped. That's rape culture.
Mm-hmm.
Refusing to take rape accusations seriously, teaching women to avoid getting raped instead of teaching men not to rape. Those are just a few examples. And then how can men and women combat rape culture? Avoid using language that objectifies or degrades women. Speak out if you hear someone else making an offensive joke or trivializing rape. If a friend says she has been raped, take her seriously and be supportive. He or she. Think critically about the media's messages about women, men, relationships, and violence. Be respectful of others' physical space, even in casual situations. That's a big one. I'll go back to that. Always communicate with sexual partners and do not assume consent. So always communicate with sexual partners, even if it's your husband or wife. Always communicate and do not assume consent. Define your own manhood and womanhood. Do not let stereotypes shape your actions. So that's the gist. So I think the biggest part, and when women tense up from a woman's perspective, is when there is this personal space that's being invaded. Pay attention to the woman's body language. If she's opening and welcoming to it, then you're invited into her space. But if not, let her get there to where she feels, until she feels comfortable enough to let you in her space. And if she does not let you in her space, be respectful and just let it go. Do not invade that space. That's when people feel tense. Like, I just watched a video today and I saw like a woman tear up just because the guy was telling her, complimenting her looks, and he was all up on her in her space while she was trying to do her live, and then just not being respectful. And she just, after he was gone, she felt disrespected. She didn't feel comfortable. And so she was like, it made her cry. So it may not seem like a big deal, but the comfort and security of a woman that a woman should have should not be tampered with. It should not feel insecure at all. She should always feel secure and protected within herself, within her body, and within her space. So when that's invaded, these guys were very pushy. So not only were they like in their space, like they were touching them inappropriately. Like, I think a guy just tapped her on her breast, and is like, what are you doing? Or even like rubbing her shoulder, things like that. It's a stranger, it's not somebody you know. And even if it was, if they don't welcome it, just don't do it. I don't think we realize it though. So teach your children, teach your boys to be gentlemen and to be young kings, and to approach a female appropriately. Use your words. You don't have to use your body. So if you want to tell a woman she's beautiful, you can tell her. If she says thank you, it's a thank you. If you want to talk to her, get closer, you should ask if it's somebody you do not know. But I know it's not like a lesson. Guys think they have game and things like that, but think about like the woman's body language, and you can't always go based on that because sometimes they try to play it off. But if she's shying away in any way, it's just not okay. So
yeah, and like in my experience, it's always like, oh, baby girl, smile, like,
oh yeah, that's annoying.
And that remind me, like, when you said about which one was it? It was being standoffish. What was it? What was the?
I had a lot of bullets. Oh, okay, you're there.
Yeah. I guess it was being passive. I don't know which one. It doesn't matter, but I don't know. That kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, even in that, But as young girls, we're taught, you know, you have to carry yourself a certain way. Don't wear certain things like you're asking for attention, or you're being
defining womanhood as submissive and sexually passive.
Yeah, so
that's what you're supposed to. Yeah.
I do see the culture that is created, and just as men versus women, and the way that we have to carry ourselves, the way we dress, and just a culture that, and that, not saying it's a rape culture, but it's just the climate that we created throughout time.
We created it. We made it a culture. Mm-hmm. To say that a woman can't walk down the street with a half shirt on, and some booty shorts because she feels like it, regardless of your opinion, like, you shouldn't dress like that anyway. You're asking for that attention. That's the problem, is because that type of attention, men are more like predators. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, mm-hmm. just by nature, mm-hmm. like, that we've been taught that they do the hunting. So mm-hmm. it's like, we've made that normal, though. Like, oh, they're allowed to whistle at you. They're allowed to come up to you and say, hey, baby girl, you know, you looking good today. And, like, hand all over your shoulder, and you don't know them, you know, breath right here. So, and saying because she dressed like that, she deserves anything that comes her way, when, as much as it's hard to unlearn what you've been taught, like what's presentable, it's not okay. She can wear whatever she wants. And whether it's sexualized or what, it doesn't warrant anyone to come at her in a offensive way sexually. Like, doesn't mean that you rip off her clothes because she barely has any on. Doesn't mean you rip off the rest and get it in right then. You know, doesn't mean that she actually wants you to holler at her. But I know it's like a double-edged sword, because I worked with drugs and alcoholics, so they would dress like that because they were prostituting. But I'm talking about the ones that are on vacation, you know, or it could be there every day. Just talk to them, you know. You know, they have their reasons, and people grow and people change. I've seen people change their looks. You know, maybe they're in a different space, or maybe they'll get to a place where they want to be fully covered. But regardless of how we see it, regardless if we think it's presentable or if we think it's ugly, if we think it's sexy, people want to do what they want to do. It doesn't mean that they have to be treated disrespectfully, or, you know, it doesn't mean that you have to push up on her, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But yeah, I just think that we need to do better. And then, like, I was reading something on social media, and it was like a poll, and the question was, ladies, if your husband wakes you up in the middle of the night for sex, are you going to give it to him or not? Right? So it was like half and half on that poll. Like, some women are like, oh yeah, we're getting it on. And some women are like, don't effing wake me up. And then there was I was reading some of the comments, and there was this one comment that said, well, you do know penetration can happen while she sleep, right? And, like, so many people started going in on this person, because that right there is non-consent and rape culture. Because she didn't give you consent. And I know some of y'all, I've been married 35 years, it's mine, whatever. Okay, whatever agreement y'all got going on, that's y'all's consent. But, like, the day-to-day, right then, you just never know how things can turn out. I've seen some situations, some women turn on some people, or not even turn. No, that was their experience. You know, regardless of how they were, how you two were, the whole time and how you communicated in the bedroom, this particular day, it was not warranted. And they got in trouble. But so you just, I mean, cover yourself. I mean, just tap her, wake her up. You know what I mean? See what type of mood she in. Don't just assume. Because it could be bad for you if it's the right day or not the right day. So I just think we need to teach the children, because that's really, it starts with us now. Like, I don't know, like family reunions and things like that. These older men, they could family reunions and family and friends that come around during that time. They're looking at your daughters, or they're looking at the young people,
daughters or sons,
sons.
And that's another thing, another point, that it's not just women,
right?
It's not rape culture, but men too, and
and it said that
you got to be careful.
But what I'm saying is, when you're at those events and they're making comments, that is unacceptable. I mean, it just is. It's like we've normalized it. Like, why are men going around talking about the size of the little 13-year-old's breast, like how they've grown, and looking at her? And that's pretty tense. That happens though, and you're right, like little boys too. And I mean, I know of males. I do know some males personally that have been raped, and I know one that's been raped by a woman. So it's a lot of stuff out here. So I know women are not innocent. Okay, like I know a lot of guys. I shouldn't say a lot. That'd be a lot to me when you know a couple on a hand. When it was very common for female babysitters to molest little boys. Like, I know some people. And I guess in rape culture, it was cool because it's like, oh, been sexually active since I was 10.
Yeah.
But not by choice. You wasn't. Now you got the feeling, you like the feeling, but that doesn't mean that it was okay. I don't know. I just think I see a lot of men out here that are involved in their children's lives, and I see them raising these young kings to do right. So I think we need to keep that momentum. It needs to spread to those that don't have as much guidance in the home on how to treat one another. So, like I said, let's treat each other better. So even women, queens treat the other queens like queens, and likewise, kings treat other kings as such, and let's treat one another with the utmost when it comes to what we see out here in these streets and in the home. But like outside, I mean, you never know what someone's going through. That lady that looks a certain way, she may have low self-esteem in other areas. So she just may need you to tell her she has a pretty smile, or that she looks nice today, or something about her hair, or if she really does look good in her outfit, So.
But yeah, and the video that sparked this conversation that you saw, I did notice at the end of it how the guy, he was going record and noticing, getting that out there so that people know to be on the lookout, for these type of guys, these type of men. And he, not only did he bring awareness, but he stepped in. So he would tap the guys on the shoulder, start talking to them. It wasn't in no aggressive, or no, oh, get off of her, type thing. But it was
played it off.
He played it off pretty well. Come here, guy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, want to take a picture with me?
Yeah,
because, oh gosh. Okay, so basically, protect your queens, though. So when you see that a woman appears to be uncomfortable, I mean, you can ask her. If you've seen it in movies, looks like you need a little help in here. You need me to save you. And you're like, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels good. I like when a guy steps in and takes helps me in some way like that. Like, and I don't know them, you know. I like when I appreciate it when someone can step in, because women, you know, we're just weaker in physique and stuff like that when it comes to physique, and you know, men are stronger, so it's like it's a little scary.
It's just a reality, a natural thing, you know. It is what it is. The men have more muscle fibers than women. It's just the way that we're made up. So be on, like, protect. We gotta protect and watch out for one another.
Mm-hmm. So if you see it, just step in. You know, you can say something. I see there is traction of men that step in and help out the queen, so we love it. We love to see it. But there's also men that walk by like, oh, I'm not getting involved in this. But clearly the female or females are uncomfortable.
And you notice what type of men it is that are like that way, because those type of men, like, as soon as a guy steps in to say something, then they back away like, I don't want no problems. Yeah. But they will go after the woman which she thinks perceives her as weaker. So
right. And then I don't know, they're like confident, like they're gonna get her number, like all in your face, like you gotta give it. These are like the arrogant men, like, oh, it don't mean nothing, like I can just touch you, I'll come over here, I'm just so like, you know, like I have this right. They appear to like, oh, I have this right, like I'm that dude, you know. And I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, we gotta do better. But yeah, so it happens every day. So, I mean, teach your queens not to accept it, not to expect it from anyone. Teach them how to be treated, what they should expect, and not to get comfortable with, oh, because a guy just rubs your shoulder, or you know, you can tell when guys getting their feel goods on that it's okay because they like you. Yeah. It's not okay. It's a violation of your personal space. It's a violation of yourself. But there was something else, a point I was going to make.
It's just unbelievable how comfortable they were with being that close to a woman, total stranger, don't know
I know, it was bad. But I wish we could show the video to you guys. It's just a compilation of all these different women. Like literally, they just happen to be on their phones, videotaping, or the guy that was an advocate for women that get, I don't know, where was he at? He was at a high traffic place where it was a lot of people. But he still sought out predators like that. Like, I call them predators. That sounds very harsh, so I don't want to use that word. But guys that are very, I don't want to say high strung, but just aggressively pursuing that type of thing. And they're not acting like, I want to get to know you to be your husband. They're acting like, I just want to smash you right here, right now, kind of thing. Let me pull you off to the side or something. That's how they were acting. But another thing I wanted to point out, let's also not teach our young kings and queens to accept violence as a type of endearment. Like, little boy, oh, he's always hitting you on the playground because he likes you. Why do we think that's cute? And teach your son, and it could be true, because here's the thing. Children don't always know how to express themselves. So we know they do things. We know they act out, they yell. They could be like having a tantrum, and we think it's not okay, but really they don't know how to communicate effectively yet. So depending on how old the child is, regardless of how old your child is, just redirect them to know, like, hitting like if it's a boy hitting a girl is not okay just because you like them, or pushing them down. Or vice versa. I was about to get there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or vice versa. Like, it's just not okay. It's not effective communication.
And programming starts when you're young.
It does. And we thought it was like when I was growing up, that was the thing to say. Like, oh, they're just love taps. A boy likes you if he hits you or pushes you or something crazy. But just teach them no, not to accept it, because programming starts young. So then they'll be acceptance to love hurts, you know. So it's just let's just keep it going. We're having some progress, and then we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, we can only just try to do our part. We can't save the world. I've accepted that. I mean, hey, but what we can do is just teach. Like my dad was adamant. Like I knew what he was doing when I was a child. I figured it out later. He was programming us too, because I grew up with three brothers in the home, and he used to always say to all of us, like when someone tells you no, you have to stop regardless. So like if you're playing and if he hears someone says no, like my brothers were rough, that meant stop. Like it, girl, guy, regardless. But I know what he was doing, because later it's like no means no, because there was because of rape culture.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman tells you no, he was instilling that in the boys, especially, all of us, but you know what I mean? All of us. Because then for me, my no means no too, so that means all things should stop, So I think he did a good job at that. Because like I said, in hindsight, when you start to think about it, it's like, wow, you knew what you were doing. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing. Like I said, whether they were playing, joking, you had to stop. Once he heard that no, it's like, so it's signaled, Mm-hmm. So that's a strategy. But on a light,
yeah, and this is a very touchy subject.
Yeah, I don't even want to be on it much longer.
Yeah, but it's still important and to speak on, because we can't ignore it. We can't act like it doesn't exist.
Right.
So it's just like you said, we gotta do better, but it's going to take those men to speak up and to address it.
Yeah.
And it's going to take them to take action and show. So there are guys out there, respectable, well-known guys that have brought it to the attention to just deprogram, the way that Black men in general, but especially our young kings, and then the culture that was created for them to do something different. But we have to protect one another. So
say women protect the kings too. We've been doing it for a long time. Let's keep it going. Yeah. So I know I tend to speak up, especially because, when you see the minority male being mistreated, that just, in any setting, and I'm talking about work setting and things like that, I don't tolerate any type of bashing of the brothers, you know what I mean, in the workplace. I just don't, especially because I know a lot of good ones. Mm-hmm. So they look out and we look out for each other.
Look out for each other.
Period. So, no, because, the other people, they don't know us like we know us. So they're easy to judge and speak on something. It could be something factual, but you still don't know it like we know it. Like, it's like Black home code. You know what I mean? It's like, you could think this about that man and his family and his situation, but you do not know because you're not melanated, Mm-hmm. But yeah, so anyway, let's talk about something on a lighter note, because I just felt like that needed to be talked about. There's other things going on in the world, but I don't really know the facts of it, so I'm not going to talk about it.
This week.
I don't have, I'm not going to give my opinion about what's going on right now, what's trending. No, I'm not going to do that. But I want to think of something good. Let's end this on a better note. We can have a meditation online right now.
Yeah, we could do meditation. Because we had to breathe before we started. Jessica guided us in the breathing exercise because we had quite a few challenges
to get this show started today.
So that what we were trying to say today really needed to be addressed. Somebody needed to hear it, because we could have easily been like, you know what, this ain't working today, because it was one thing after another.
It really was.
But that's okay. We made it happen.
You know, persistence is key. Mm-hmm. Things are going to happen all the time. And I just still feel okay. Oh, well, nothing's perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, well, anyway, love on your loved ones a little harder today. There's a lot going on in the world. Just love on your people. That's what we got to do. We got to exude more love. Mm-hmm. This big old ball of sunlight and rainbows, you can't enter in. Like on Mario Kart, like, shoot, I just breeze through the rest. Y'all can't even touch me. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
You ain't gonna bring me down.
That's not my world. Like, you ever meet people that are just, when I say low vibes, low vibration, like everything under the sun is going wrong. And I'm not saying nothing goes wrong in our lives. I'm not saying that at all. But it's just a dark cloud over them. No. Can't come in this space.
Yeah. I had to check myself today, actually, and just thinking about why certain things didn't happen the way that I think I should. They planned them. But then I just realized, like, I can't blame I can't have external excuses for everybody or situations that happen that caused me. But I had to really think to myself and think inside of me, like, it's not because this person didn't do that. It's because of yourself. Hey. And that was hard for me to realize, to really hear that from myself. So yeah, that was heavy for me. Even
that's rough. That's a real pill to swallow, and I think we all can relate. I had the same thing, but mine was yesterday. Like, when I say tough pill to swallow, like, when I still think about it, all I can do is literally shake my head. Like, you did this, and you did not do this. This is why you are right here. You did this, so this is why you're there, and you did go here in life. But now, and there's things that you're not doing. It's talking to me. Mm-hmm. So, what are you going to do about it? Something's got to change. You have to show up for yourself today, tomorrow. We just got to keep going forward. Right?
It's
really all you can do. But you can't let it get you down. I think that's why I saw the angel number when I saw it. The last angel number I sent you.
5.
I was already having a reflection, and I was thinking about what I did not do. I was discussing this with my nephew, and I was like, man, this time I was talking to him about what I was going to do in my life, and I was like, this time when I do it, I'm not going to stop. And so I did look up the angel number. It was the 5s.
Yep, 5.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, you guys. I ain't going to keep y'all much longer. But I thought it was interesting because I don't know these numbers that well. Darn, I lost it. But
Was right on time.
But it was just like, oh, okay, I see what it's saying. You know what I mean? So I found it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because I have a certain one I like to look at. So I think okay, I'm gonna read just one because this stuff can go long. I'm just gonna read this small section about it. It says, so it was the angel number 555. So it says 555 spiritually represents the relationship you have with God. As humans, we are put on this earth for a reason. You have a purpose on this earth, and until you fulfill it, you are not on the right path with divinity. At times, you are too hard on yourself, but the angels are guiding you towards the path of self-confidence and acceptance. Open yourself up to spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and you shall be closer to the divine realm than ever. And I just felt like, yes, I just felt like that is it, because I was in my thoughts beating myself up, and I still can, like right now, if I really think about it. But all I can do is try to change it. You know what I mean? And that's all we can do.
Yeah. See, King Bay, he said we all have those days.
We do.
Like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. King Bay, I like that. I like how he spelled it too. Yeah. So anyway, we're all in this. We all have a purpose. We all can do our part, and we're just making humanity that much better by our efforts. I choose light though. I ain't going down the dark paths on purpose. For real. There's some people you encounter. Yeah, so anyway.
Talk about that on another date.
Yeah, so anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And through our technical difficulties today, I mean, it's crazy. You would think this is the first day we did this. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, low-key fun technical difficulties. We'll do better. And especially when I couldn't freak out.
Yeah, it was a test. I wasn't going to. It's just
you did. You was like, take your time.
Stay calm through it.
Yeah, and they probably don't even know what we're talking about, or do you? They probably don't even know. Yeah, we had some stuff on this end, but it's okay. So, but yeah, like we said, we appreciate the support. Make sure you tune in every week. So every Thursday we're here. We're going to try to be on live as much as possible. As much as we can, but don't be surprised if we're not. Things happen, but and then in the beginning of the week on Sunday we have Independent Thinkers with Beth, and then on Mondays we have Bun Bay's show at 7, and Independent Thinkers is at 7 on Sundays, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. for Bun Bay on Mondays. Hakeem L. Truth Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Wednesday. Solomon's Temple at 10 a.m. here on Hindsight.
Got a whole lineup.
And then us every Thursday. And make sure you check out our website, jtmuse.com, and get remedy for a lot of your situations. I mean, it's getting to be spring, so now people are probably going to go out and start practicing at the shooting range. And for those that have not received your firearm as a national, check out our
firearm webinar.
Yeah. And a lot of other things, There's a lot of things on there.
Vaccine exemption, religious vaccine exemption.
Third-party debt, all of that stuff. National Passport. We have a ebook on there, Survivor's Guide, our survival guide. Check that out. There's a lot of good tips in there.
Good nuggets.
Yes. So, I mean, you can never know too much. I'm telling you, there's some things you didn't think about are in there. So, but yes. So, have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for listening again, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Love and prosperity.